something we realized this weekend, but it's just important to note.
Is it customary to have to?
No.
It's not.
I don't recall, I don't know if anyone else has a similar experience, but I have never seen anything on the back of the ballot. Typically, everything is on the front, so it would be unusual to turn it over to the back side.
Thanks, Beth. Anyone else? Thank you very much for your presentation. Dr. DeRosa, thank you very much for giving us the tour and your time tonight.
While we're talking about the referendum, I want to introduce Mr. Tumolo in just a moment for the superintendent's report. You have in front of you an envelope with some referendum business cards in it and some handouts with a fun little note on them. So each board member has 20 items to pass out, and a prize will go to the board member who can pass them out the fastest. So there will be a prize at the next board meeting for any board member who passes out all of their referendum materials to friends and neighbors and anybody that you can think of. So I wanted to make sure that you got some in your hands. Email me as soon as you pass them all out, and you'll see what the prize is. A big surprise, a trick or treat at the October board meeting. You'll see. Mr. Tumolo. Mr. Tumolo is here to present the Access for ELS report. Typically, this report of student achievement for our multilingual learners occurs in October. However, the state released the test items or the test scores much earlier, and there's a requirement that we report out within so many days of the release of the items. And this is our best attempt at reporting out sooner rather than later. So Mr. Tumolo, go ahead.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to present tonight. I'm excited. We'll provide tonight. I'll just provide a quick overview of our ML's multilingual learner population, along with their access assessment results, and some highlights of both progress and next steps that we plan to take as a department for the current school year. So from last year, this is, you can see our multilingual learners. We've had, the district really welcomes the students from diverse linguistic backgrounds. Last year our ML spoke more than 10 languages, and the diversity enriches our classrooms and underscores the importance of responsive ESL programming. So this slide shows how long students have been in our programs from last year and then our current year, this year. Last year we had 8 students who were brand new to the program. We had 15 students that were in the program for about a year. 2 years, there were about 5 students, 7 students, 3 or more years in the program. This year, it's slightly shifted, but not too drastic, not so different. The total number of MLs from last year that were in the program were 35. This year, Lori, correct me if I'm right, about 36, I believe, and growing. So that number could change as we go throughout the year. So I'm excited with this slide because when I first presented this a few years ago, we really didn't have comparative data. This year we have some comparative data. So the access assessment measures proficiency in reading, writing, listening, and speaking, with reading and writing weighted more heavily. And to exit, students must score a 4.5 or higher, demonstrating strong class performance, but meeting reading benchmarks and receiving teacher recommendations. So it's not just based on the score, there are some other pieces that help to make that determination. So we're looking at the whole child, not just the score. So comparing the 2 years of data, in 23-24, 3 students exited the program. Last year, 24-25, we doubled, 6 students exited the program. I'm really excited to highlight that. That's a positive indicator that students are developing language skills at an accelerated pace. And at the same time, the data also shows that a large number of students are still in the developing and expanding stages. And I want to highlight that because it shows that the district is within continuous enrollment of new learners. So here's just a graph to kind of show that the comparative data. to see from entering to exiting. So the state sets long-term goals for English proficiency. 34.6% overall of your overall ML population. That's what's expected in terms of the expected growth. That's what we're looking for, 34%. And then it's weighted a little bit higher for our K-5 versus 6 to 12. K-5 is about 50%, 49%, and then 6 to 12, or for our K-6 to 8, 27.7%. So from the data from last year, 17 of our students, out of the total population, met expected growth. 2 did not. 9 of those students were incoming K students and new to the country, so that we just had baseline data. One student declined testing, and then I want to also highlight that 7 of our MLs are also have IEPs. I think that's important to note. Making it even more complex, in terms of meeting needs. So the percentages show that 60.7% of our MLs met expected growth. So we doubled based on the state's recommendation. 7.1% did not meet their growth, and then 32.1% of students were at that baseline. So what does this show, right? So I think that the takeaways are that our students are making state-expected progress. The ESL programming is effective in supporting that progress. A significant portion of our MLs also receive special education, which requires careful attention. And the ML population is growing, which is healthy, and it means students are entering, progressing, and exiting the program. It's a continuous flow, right? It's not linear. About half of our MLs are either brand new or also receiving special education, which highlights the complexity of meeting diverse needs. So some glows and grows, right? The glows are our ML students outperform the expected long-term growth for the state by almost double. The number of students exiting our programs doubled as well compared to the previous year. And some areas for growth. Providing more direct instruction and support for our ML students with special needs, and working on developing a systemic ESL curriculum that includes language objectives, which would be built into the classrooms, and that kind of connects to the sheltered English instruction that the gen ed teachers are being trained in and in supporting our ESL students within the gen ed classrooms. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
I just wanted to clarify the percentage criteria you had for 49%, 27.7%. That was the percentage of students who met the.
So that's the required overall percentage for K-5 is higher than it is for middle school.
All right, so it's expecting 49% of our K to 5th grade students.
Correct.
To meet the requirements.
To meet that exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else?
Any other questions?
I know, I can't see David, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I can't see you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just to comment, just that your team has been doing a fantastic job with this. I know it's a growth area for the whole district. I know. I thank you all. I think you're doing a fantastic job. So.
Yeah, our ESL department, they're seasoned, they're experienced, they are so knowledgeable, and they've taught me so much about the ML population. I mean, they really are the experts in this, and it's a testament to the dedication and the work that they do. So.
Yay!
Yay! Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for being here, Lori.
Absolutely.
Good to see you. That's everything.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hart. Mr. Moore. All right, the next item on the agenda is the open public forum for any items that are on the agenda. So if anyone would like to come up and speak for any items on the agenda, please come up, state your name, what town you're from, and questions or comments? Okay, anyone online? No, I guess not, Miles, I guess, I thought you might have, yeah, online. Okay, thank you.
Larry, is there anybody online? No.
All right, we did receive one correspondence.
No one on chat, there's a couple people online.
Do they have any questions?
Nothing in the chat?
2 people online,
Okay,
Nothing in the chat, though.
nobody chat,
Okay.
okay, perfect, thank you.
nothing in the chat.
Okay, so we did receive the correspondence that is on record with the board secretary. The next item, we're going to just move into board action, and first one is the approval of administrative reports. We have one item to adopt, it's item 101. Can I have a motion and then a second?
I'll move on. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Cassidy.
Yes.
Mrs. Fiore.
Yes.
Mr. Pieros. Yes. Mrs. Rad.
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto.
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, we have one other item, the approval of the minutes, item 201. Can I get a motion and then a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay,
Mrs. Cassidy.
Yes.
Mrs. Fiore.
Yes.
Mr. Pieros. Yes. Mrs. Rad.
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto.
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo.
yes.
Passes.
All right, now we're going to committee reports. The first one is finance and facilities. We do not have a committee readout this month. We're actually meeting on Friday, so we'll read out that committee next month at our next meeting. We have 7 items to adopt, 301 through 307. Can I get a motion and then a second on those items?
Motion, Christina. I'll second. Ellen?
Okay, perfect, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, we have roll call.
Mrs. Cassidy.
Yes.
Mrs. Fiore.
Yes.
Mr. Pieros. Yes. Mrs. Rad.
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto.
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, the next item is for education technology. We have 5 items to move, and then Beth will have a committee report to read out. So can I get a motion and a second on items 401 through 405? Okay. And Beth?
Second. I'll second. Are you ready? This is on. Eight mics. Okay, the Ed Tech Committee met on September 22nd. The first item we discussed were curriculum revisions for K through 3 computer science. This is a new document based on changes to the K-3 schedules, our pilot last year, and teacher feedback. This document contains the NJSLS computer science standards and the NJSLS K-3 engineering standards. The other curriculum revisions are for math, honors grade 5 through algebra 1. Middle school math curriculum documents reflect changes to the scope and sequence. The content has remained the same, but the order in which it is taught has been updated to be more compatible with the new primary resource of EdGEMS. Next, we discussed the NAEP assessment selection, the NAEP. This is a federal assessment that districts are required to administer if they are selected. Lucky yes, we were selected for 8th graders. The test will be on reading and math. 50 students will sit for the assessment. These students are selected by the federal government. They will be notified the day of the test that they were selected. The test will be administered in January or February. All 8th grade parents will be notified through Genesis that their child may be selected to participate. Next, we discussed the NJSLA adaptive assessment and field test. New Jersey is updating the NJSLA test to an adaptive assessment and will test sample text items using a field test this fall. All districts are required to participate. The test will be math, 60 minutes, reading, 60 minutes, writing, 120 minutes. Pearson has been the digital platform used for NJSLA for the past 10 years. The field test will be administered through Tide, a new platform, which will require staff training during October in-service days. The district test schedule listing this and others will be sent to parents by October 1. I actually saw it yesterday. Professional development plan. Dr. Brown presented the professional development plan. It is required to be updated and approved annually. Also, the mentoring plan. Mr. Tumalo presented the mentoring plan. It is also required to be updated and approved annually. Next, the special education programs at RMS. Mrs. Burns reported on the opening of an LLD classroom and autism program now established at the middle school. We discussed curriculum renewal plan for 2025 through 2030. Dr. Hart presented a timeline for reviewing and refining curricular documents over the next 5 years. We saw the agenda items, curricular revisions, and then we set our next 2 meetings. October 6th meeting is going to be assessment results, which will be reported out in the next board meeting. And then we also set a November 17th date following that.
Thank you. Any comments or discussion?
I just have a question on the NAEP. How are students selected by the federal government?
Random selection.
It sounds a little,
We just get a list of names.
so the government must receive a list of names from the school,
Yeah, there's federal.
just like a database?
Yeah, there's federal reporting requirements.
Okay. And then for the NJSLA, is there a difference with this, or is it just the new platform?
There's a difference in the test. So there is a new platform. So we used to use Pearson as the platform. The new platform is now Tide, Cambria, I think is the owner, and then Tide is the platform. So there's a difference in vendor. There were some issues with the Department of Education, from what I understand, I don't know the details, used Pearson for some time, and there was some issues with the contract with Pearson and some litigation at the DOE level. So they switched over to this platform, which is used by other states. So that's one change, is just the way it's going to look, just the platform. The second change is NJSLA is moving from being an assessment that gives test questions based off of the state standards, which it still will give. However, the new assessment will be adaptive. So as students get answers correct, they will begin to get harder questions in the assessment rather than just having 50 test questions. If they get questions wrong, the questions may get easier as well. So there'll be this kind of rolling bank of questions, as opposed to previously where there was this bank of questions and students randomly got test items. So there's 2 changes coming. The field test is coming, I think, yesterday it happened, I think at the end of October is Hollenbrook, and then November is RMS. It's only grades 4 through 8 because there is no, they're not assessing 3rd graders. So we'll do the field test in the fall, and then the 3 through 8 administration will be in the spring.
Okay, any other comments or discussion? Okay, we get a roll call vote.
Mrs. Cassidy.
Yes.
Mrs. Fiore.
Yes.
Mr. Pieros. Yes. Mrs. Raddick.
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto.
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo.
Yes. The next item is on the personnel. We have 10 items to move, 501 through 510. Can I get a motion and then also a second?
On the ballot?
I'll second, Pam.
Okay, Justina.
So the committee met on September 19th. We discussed staffing updates. All schools are fully staffed. For paraprofessionals, while there were a few resignations prior to the start of the school year, the district successfully filled those positions. Currently, there is 1 open paraprofessional position, which we anticipate filling shortly. Transportation, the transportation department is fully staffed. Maintenance, we have 1 opening for a maintenance mechanic and have identified a candidate and hope to fill it shortly. For FMLA coverage, we are actively seeking 2 long-term substitute teachers to cover staff out on FMLA leave. We discussed teacher shortage challenges and retention and recruitment. We reviewed data related to teacher recruitment trends in New Jersey. We also discussed administering a staff climate and retention survey, originally developed when the Recruitment and Retention Committee was first formed. Since it has been several years since the last survey, the committee is considering launching a new one this fall. Dr. Hart suggested separating the survey data by building to help identify any building-specific trends. Dr. Hart typically conducts exit interviews, but has recently developed a stay interview to better understand the reasons why teachers choose to remain in our district. We discussed the East Amwell Shared Services update. Mr. Bohm reported that the shared services agreement with East Amwell is progressing well. East Amwell has demonstrated flexibility, and Dr. Hart noted there have been no issues. Mr. Bohm has ensured all state deadlines, payroll, and financial responsibilities have been met for East Amwell. East Amwell's Board of Education has approved a candidate to assume the shared services position. The individual is currently completing the necessary college credits and will need to obtain their license. The transition is expected to occur by July. The committee also discussed 2 personnel matters. For agenda items, we have new hires, ratify the custodian, other typical agenda items, and we set our next meeting for November 5th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, Justina. Any comments or discussion?
I had a comment or kind of question on 5.04, the bus driver, the amended hours for the routes, I guess had settled down, and so there was an adjustment of what the hours were. I was just wondering if personnel would take a look at the routes again and just look at how long students are on the bus. I know I brought that up at one of the previous meetings, just circle back now that things have settled down.
I think we have that actually planned for finance for Friday and then ongoing this year
Okay,
as well,
perfect.
just so you know.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Bohm.
Mrs. Cassidy,
Yes.
Mrs. Fiore,
Yes.
Mr. Pieros,
Yes.
Mrs. Rad,
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan,
Yes.
Mr. Pinto,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, next item is communication and policy. We have 2 items to move and also a committee report. So can I get a motion to adopt items 601 and 602?
I'll move, okay.
And second?
Justine.
Okay.
The committee met on September 22nd. The first thing we discussed was policy alert 235. The entire chapter of the NJAC 6A 23A for fiscal accountability, efficiency, and budgeting procedures was recently revised and adopted by the State Board of Education. The committee reviewed the following policies included in Strauss-Esme's policy alert. Bylaw 0173, duties of the public school accountant. This bylaw has been revised to include the administrative code sections by reference that outline the responsibilities and requirements of the accountant and the board. The other revisions in the updated administrative code did not require any changes in practice or implementation. For bylaw 0174, legal services, the revised code addresses procedures to ensure the prudent use of legal services by employees and board members and has minor revisions. Policy 0177, professional services. The revised code requires each Board of Education to establish by policy a strategy to minimize the cost of professional services. Minor revisions were made regarding the awarding of contracts for professional services. Policy and Regulation 1570, internal controls. The revised code addresses the requirements for each school district as a condition of receiving state aid to establish specific policies and procedures on internal controls designed to provide management with reasonable assurance the school district's goals and objectives will be met and will meet the requirements of the administrative code. Policy 5339.01, student sun protection. This policy was adopted requiring school districts to develop and adopt a policy concerning a student's use of sunscreen and sun protective clothing while outdoors at school and school-sponsored functions. This policy is new for our district. Policy and Regulation 6111, Special Education Medicaid Initiative Semi-Program. The revised code addresses every school district's requirement with the exception of a waiver being granted to take appropriate steps to maximize participation in the Special Education Medicaid Initiative program. The requirements in Policy 6111 are significant as non-compliance could result in withholding of state aid as per code. Policy and Regulation 6220, budget preparation. The revised code included revisions regarding budget preparation. The revised administrative code does not change the current budget preparation and budget submission requirements. The regulation provides a basic procedure for the school district budget development process. The only revisions in regulation are assigning the budget preparation process to the superintendent and the school business administrator or board secretary. The internal budgetary procedures used in the school district are not governed by any statute or administrative code, therefore a district may revise these procedures to meet local needs. This policy is mandated as the CUSAC's TPR's fiscal indicators section requires the provisions listing the statutory and administrative code requirements of budget development. The next item we discussed was chain of command. Dr. Hart shared a chain of command document he developed to assist in operating in an organized and expeditious manner. It is important to know that when the chain of command is used properly by citizens and board members, it improves communication and leaves the Board of Education free to act as final arbiter on issues that have not been resolved at other steps in the chain. The document includes the chain of command for everything from general student questions to curriculum and instruction to discipline. The committee recommended the addition of the chain of command for when issues arise on the bus. The committee discussed the ideas for how to best deliver this document and information to the school community. The committee discussed placement within our district website and making sure contact information for teachers, case managers, and admin is easily accessible. This will be reviewed by the administration and then communicated to the school community. For policy updates, the 2000 series, Dr. Hart made the changes previously recommended by the committee to these policies, and they will appear on the agenda for our next full board meeting. Policy 2210, curriculum development. This policy was revised to include statements regarding our curriculum meeting the needs of all students, aligning with the state learning standards and having a development cycle that includes stages of renewal and evaluation. Policy 2220, adoption of courses. This policy was revised to include that we will adapt and revise existing courses to meet the changing needs of students and community. No course of study shall be eliminated, revised, or implemented without the approval of the board. Adoption of courses shall be by a recorded roll call majority vote of the full membership of the board. A copy of our courses will be available to the public online. For policy 2230, curriculum guides, this policy was recognized as one that we do not currently have, but some surrounding districts do. Dr. Hart consulted with the appropriate staff in developing this policy consistent with district practices. The last item we discussed was the policy tracking document. The committee reviewed the tracking document and confirmed that each member has been assigned specific series in the manual to review. We agreed to do our best to complete reviewing our assigned policies by the end of 2025 and mark which ones are of the highest priority for the district. This will allow the new committee, should it change in 2026, to use the tracking document to identify high priority policies of the 3,000 to 9,000 series based on our ratings and work on those first. While we are reviewing the remaining policies in the manual, Dr. Hart will continue to revise the remaining policies based on our recommendations in the 2000 series to close it out. Agenda items for tonight are policy alert 235, policy 2210, 2220, and 2230. And our next meeting was scheduled for Monday, October 27th at 3:30 p.m.
Thank you, Ellen. Any comments or questions?
Okay, we have roll call then. Mrs. Cassidy.
Yes.
Mrs. Fiore.
Yes.
Mr. Pieros. Yes. Mrs. Rath.
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan.
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto.
Yes.
Mr. Rosen.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, our next item is unfinished business board goals. So I'm just going to give a brief preamble on that before we get going. At the last board meeting, we discussed putting the board goal document out on our drive and had board members spend a month looking at it and making comments, which we did. So we took those comments, and what I did was I compiled them into draft goals for a review. So you'll see on your desk, you'll have two things. First thing, you'll have last year's goals. The next page will be a draft that is based largely on last year's goals and comments we received, which we'll go through and we'll modify. Are they the right goals? Do we need new ones? Does the wording need to change, and so on? And then the third thing I brought up is when Marianne from the NJSBA spoke last time, she had the action plan, and that's something that NJSBA recommends that we do going forward, that every few months we look at our goals, that we actually work toward them, give a status. So I think once we do get board goals and once we do get them approved, we should set time on our meetings, a standing agenda here to actually go forward and actually review them. I think the first one would probably be December would be a good one to do it. So maybe on the December meeting, we actually see it, we actually moving forward to it, and use the action plan as the way forward. In regards to the 2025 goals, I just want to give a couple notes. If you look at them, they're close to what they were last year, the same subjects, at least for 4 of them, like academic achievement, safety, governance, and referendum. We added a strategic plan because that's a large part of what we're gonna be doing this year. In addition, we dropped one of them, which was, I believe, the communications. We kept the draft version for your review tonight. It has 4 goals on it. Beth has suggested that the NJSBA recommends 3 goals. You can have more if you have something special going on. For us, we have the referendum and strategic plan. So I think we could, if you guys agree, have 3 goals plus the referendum and strategic plan. It's something that we'll be discussing. Another thing that you'll see is that although there are similar goals from last year, they're kind of reworded a little bit. Pam and a couple of people brought up a good point that last year's it sounded a little like mission statements as opposed to goals. I know Ellen said the same thing. I noticed it as well. So we just reworded them a little bit. Instead of being like more of a statement, it's more like the board will. A couple of them last year had that, so we just took that from a couple last year. We just put that on all 4. So since people in the audience cannot see what we have, I thought, I'll just narrate the thing. We'll open it up for discussion. If everyone can use the microphone when they talk. We'll just go through the first goal, academic achievement, go through each one. I'll read it. And we decide if the goal we want to change the word and go through any suggestions. So I'm going to read now the draft academic achievement, and then we'll open up for discussion. The board will ensure academic achievement is the central focus in decision-making by creating and implementing systems and framework that prioritize academic success. The board will work with the administration to prioritize teacher retention, training, and recruitment to support achieving academic success. And with that, I'll open up for any comments. If you do, just use the microphone so everyone can hear you.
Mr. Rizza, I just want to say I think you did a great job finding a way for the board to take an active role in academic achievement was something that we can do. Mr. Pinto, as you were framing this, I think you did a great job with finding something actionable.
Thank you. And then I think, and I know Pam, I know you had some items that you wanted to insert with Ellen that you wanted to do, so we talked about the action plan. But we could start talking about how we're doing in 2 months. So, okay. Any other comments from anybody? Okay, 1 down, 4 to go. All right, the next one was on safety. It's close to last year's, but we added 1 sentence at one section at the end to just expand it a little bit. The board will work with the administration to upgrade and refine safety and security measures to ensure student and staff safety, and this is the new part, and continue to maintain a positive school climate for all students to thrive in. Any comments on that? All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Next one's on governance. The board will conduct a comprehensive review of existing committee protocols and communications across committees and implement recommended actions. The board will update the policy guide and implement a schedule for reviewing policies. Any discussion on that one? Okay, next one is referendum and strategic plan. The board will collaborate with the administration to launch enhanced communications to inform community members of the referendum. The board will form a working group with the administration to create a capital project plan regardless of the referendum outcome. The board will facilitate the implementation of the strategic plan process in coordination with the administration. Comments? Okay, so thank you. Sorry, I didn't see.
The working group in that one, do you want that to be finance committee or do you want it to be separate?
I don't know.
I didn't know if that
think it should be,
language was intentional or not, like if we want to keep it in finance or.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I know a lot of things originate with finance, but
Probably.
it's kind of important for the whole board as well, or do we just, I don't know what
what are your
Because
thoughts?
I don't know, I mean, are you looking to form another committee?
I know that's what I was thinking. Like, are we going to form another committee, or do we want to keep it within the finance committee? Or do we want to just have a mechanism for finance to do reports?
That's what I was thinking, not another committee, but just have finance take the lead and just make sure that we
Yeah.
keep the other board members involved. Which goes to the one above where we're talking about communication, actually governance, where communications across committees and implement recommended action. So if finance takes the lead, we can ensure that not only this, but other things are actually shared across all board members. Everyone okay with that? Okay, so for this item, there's no action item to vote on it. This is going to be on the agenda for the next board meeting. If you read this, you have any tweaks on it, just let us know. Just send myself and Dr. Hart a note of what it is, and we'll update it as needed. Okay, new business from the board. This is actually an exciting one. Our very own Beth Fiore has become a master board member and had her certification through NJSBA. So congratulations, Beth. And since this, I don't think we've had have we had a master board member? I don't know. So that's our first. And then we have two other board members that are certified. That's Justine and Ellen. So I know, Beth, maybe you could just go through and give an update of what it takes to become certified in the process, and just, give us a brief overview.
I don't remember the exact listing, but it was, a certain number of county meetings, 3 workshops in Atlantic City, 3 years of workshop. I want to say it was 2 or 3 professional developments with sort of like full day law forum or full day learnings that they have. And then I can't even remember all because I got it back in June, so I don't even remember all the requirements.
Their state
But I
assembly,
think it's
right?
only like, isn't it like your second term? Like you have to have a certain money, you can't do it,
You
you
just
can only
need
do
to
it within your
after your
second term,
third
I
year.
think.
Yeah, because they want you to go to at least 3 of the workshops. It's like based on, so it's longevity plus extra, and then you have to maintain it. So it builds from the certified board members.
Great, congrats.
I really find a lot of value out of the NJSBA training. The local Hunterdon County School Boards Association, they encourage it, and I think the outgoing president of Hunterdon County, she used to quote this Iowa study about board members who have more training. It's better outcomes for the students. It's like directly linked to student success. So I always took that to heart when she would quote that study that they did in encouraging board members to. That's why I'm always sending out whatever I can to you guys about different training and opportunities. So thanks.
Beth, do you know, typically it's the May meeting where you get recognized or honored for your achievements. Is this the same? Will you receive this in May?
I don't know, because I missed that cutoff, so I don't know if they said.
Right,
That's what happened to me, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so they did wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
All right.
But I got a really nice backpack, and I'm supposed to wear it to the Atlantic City Convention, and there's no way, I'm sorry, but it says master board member huge on the back.
Come on, wear it.
Yeah. I'm not sure I can do that, but yeah.
We could put together something for like our website, or, I think in the past we did like a press release or something. I was gonna wait until May if you were honored at that county meeting, but we can do it now.
I did bring my plaque, I got like a full wooden plaque thing, and
Put it next to your name.
yeah, so.
Carry it in your backpack.
So, if you want, we could take a
We can take a
picture, and then
picture,
I don't
yeah.
have to do it in May, that'd be fantastic.
Excellent.
Well, congratulations again, Beth. And just to add on to that, as Beth mentioned, it's a lot of time, hours, and effort and traveling. It's not just local places. You have to go, meetings far away, and so and learn and bring back that information. I know Beth and my 9 months on the board have come back and shared things with us that she's known best practices. So it really is good having someone that has spent all the time and is able to share information with the rest of the board So Beth, thank you very much for all your efforts and congratulations again. Okay. Any other new business from the board? Pen?
Yeah, there was a meeting on September 17th for the Garden State Coalition of Schools that Dr. Hart and I attended. And very briefly, we got an overview of some goal setting for staff and evaluation tools for their professional development plan that they have available. Dr. Hart thought they looked pretty good, so it's time well spent. And they spent some time discussing the new adaptive tests that are being introduced, and had lots of opinions about it. So that's it for the GSCS update.
Thank you, Pen. Beth?
I'll just give a quick update while this is on. Last night was the first Hunterdon County School Boards for this year. I know Ellen, Justina, Pam, and I were there. Dr. Hart was there, and Jim Belsky from our technology department was there. And Dr. Hart and Jim were part of the roundtable discussion about AI. And I know that's district goal to work towards an AI policy. So I thought that was a really good presentation to the whole. And I want to thank you for representing us very well in the county meeting. And then I sent the dates out to everyone for the next meetings coming up. I think the next one's in December. So just keep an eye out for that.
I actually had a question sort of related to that. They spoke a lot about the NJSBA workshop and mentioned that the governance training 2, 3, 4 were all offered at that session. Does that mean, like, for me and for Linda, like governance 2, normally we would do in our second year. Would we be able to take that in October?
I think you can, right?
Do you have to wait till the new year, or can you take it?
Take it.
Would-
Take it.
Okay.
You can take governance training early. We've never had someone take 3 in a year, but we have had people take 2 in a year, like 1 in January, February, March, and then take the second one in like September, October, November, and it is counted.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, discussions? Okay, so the next item is our second open public forum. This is for any item on the agenda or off the agenda. If you would like to discuss anything or make any comments, please come to the podium, state your name and your town you're from, ask your question or comment. Is anyone online, sir, and any questions?
Larry,
Sorry,
Right.
nobody in the chat,
nobody in the chat?
3 people online.
Okay.
Okay. For people online, no question. Okay, perfect. Okay. With that, our next item is adjournment. So can I get a motion to adjourn in a second?
I'll move. Yeah.
Second?
Second, Justina.
Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mrs. Cassidy,
Yes.
Ms. Fiore,
Yes.
Mr. Fierro. Yes. Mrs. Radke,
Yes.
Mrs. Ryan,
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo.
Yes. All right, thank you everyone for coming out tonight and people who watched online.
Let's get a, you want to do a picture? So you don't-
Sure. I will say I work with a lot of other folks, so I am
Now,
putting
you
yours
gotta
out
hurry up.
tomorrow.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, so you'll be able to get it tonight.
Really?